This is Chip Maxwell, and you're listening to the Retire Smart podcast with David Brooks. In today's guest episode, financial advisor Jacob Orand brings back another installment of Stump David Brooks on subjects related to charitable giving, and it's a special Valentine's Day edition.
In the studio, we have once again Jacob Orand, one of our financial advisors who's got a passion and a heart for charitable giving. In fact, leads our class on charitable giving and is in the studio this week to kind of tell us what's going on in the giving front. What's going on?
Oh, man, lots of stuff. So class I'm teaching is going to be February 12th. At 6:30 p.m. It's going to be called Strategic Charitable Giving, and that's going to be in the Midwest Learning Center. You can register online by going to retiresmartnow.com and click the events tab, or by giving us a call. So I don't know about you, but I have been feeling a lot of love lately. Maybe it's in the air, or because the Strategic Charitable Giving class.
It is Valentine's this week.
It's 2 days away, or 2 days before Valentine's Day. So that gave me an idea. Instead of doing our traditional Stump David Brooks, I thought we could make it special. How about we do a Valentine's Day themed Stump David Brooks?
We'll find out if this makes the airwaves or not, but let's go ahead and see.
All right. So we're going to call it Stump David Brooks for the love of deductions. All right. As always, we want our listeners out there to play along. Drop us a line and tell us how you did. All right, quick note. I want to apologize in advance to all of our radio listeners. These questions are going to be painfully cheesy and full of poorly written Valentine's Day puns.
Well, I will tell you, anyone that knows you personally would expect nothing less.
Right. All right, we're running a little short on time, so I'm going to see how many we can get through. David, are you ready?
Fire away.
All right. Nothing says romance like tax efficiency. Ooh, I couldn't agree more. Which charitable strategy allows you to donate assets, receive a tax deduction, provide income, and make a lasting impact? Wow, that's kind of like a Valentine's Day gift that keeps on giving. A donor advised fund. B, a charitable remainder trust. C, setting up your own private foundation. Or D, a poem that says, roses are red, taxes are due, don't forget your deductions, or the IRS will too.
Cheesy we go, but we're going with B, Charitable Remainder Trust.
That's right, Charitable Remainder Trust. And it's a very complicated strategy. So it's more of an advanced strategy that we can use here at Retire Smart. It's what we call an advanced strategy, and it's not for everyone.
I think it's just good to talk about, like, donor advised funds. I use that. I use Charitable Remainder Trust personally. Someday I hope to set up a foundation. So all three of those are valid depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But when it comes to the Charitable Remainder Trust specifically, exactly, it's not for the faint of heart. You need to make sure you dot your I's, cross T's. There's two main versions of that. There's what we call a CRUT or a CRAT, and we just put a U or an A between the R and the T, depending on what we're trying to accomplish. But it is a great strategy. You and I have actually worked on several high net worth clients' cases where we were able to provide them income. They had an income producing asset. We were able to replace the income, leave a wonderful gift, and get an amazing tax deduction. And in some cases, we can actually leverage that to enhance the estate plan. So these are amazing tools if you understand them, how to utilize them properly, which, again, if they come to your class, they're going to learn all about this.
You can't do it by yourself either. No. You need help from an estate planning attorney to help set up the trust, most likely a CPA.
We don't even do it all ourselves, right? We have a team of CPAs, attorneys, et cetera, that have to partner with us and the client. So this is one of the strategies you're going to have 4 to 6 people's hands in the pot the whole time to make it work properly.
That's right. Good job. All right, question number 2. This next question is about the IRS. Who knew they were so romantic? All right, what's the IRS's idea of a required, quote, love note when you donate over $250 to a charity? Is it A, a written acknowledgement from the charity? B, a copy of your bank statement showing the donation amount? C, a heart-shaped scented thank you card from the CEO of the charity? That sounds like they really appreciated that gift. Or D, an IRS Form 5498.
So you're going to need some written acknowledgement from the charity of the value of your gift. So we do a lot of donations, but also, like, we sponsor tables at events, right?
That's right.
I can't deduct the dinner part. I can deduct the part over that, right? So if I And in fact, we'll have a charity we'll be coming up soon. It's $10,000 we'll sponsor. We do it every year. We get a table, but the table is worth, I think, $1,200 or something like that, or whatever the deduction is. So I can only write off what's left, and I have to have a written acknowledgement from the charity that I did not get anything of value for that donation. In other words, the dinner, I got something of value, therefore that's why I cannot write it off, and why you want to have a written acknowledgement from the charity.
And the IRS actually requires different forms of documentation versus cash versus non-cash and the amount. So you want to make sure you get this right, guys. Anytime you're making a donation, you need to have that paper trail for your audits, because the IRS isn't big on romance, but man, do they love proper documentation.
And it's nothing to fear if the IRS questions something. People get nervous when they use higher net worth strategies, advanced strategies. Frankly, an audit is nothing to fear if you have proper documentation. Again, it's just them saying, hey, validate what you've put on your return, because just so you understand, you do not submit this information with your return. You give it to your tax preparer, your CPA, your accountant, et cetera, your tax professional. They submit it. They've got the documentation. You should have a copy as well. But if they question something, all they're wanting is validate, prove, and it's usually no big deal.
That's right. All right, number 3. What's the tax smart way to send a Valentine's Day gift to charity straight from your IRA without paying extra taxes? It's kind of like sending flowers directly to your sweetheart without paying the delivery fee. All right, is it A, a qualified charitable distribution, B, bunching, C, donor advised fund, or D, pooled income fund?
So what we're talking about here is what we refer to as a QCD, a qualified charitable distribution. However, you need to be 70 and a half years old for this to apply, and it can only come from the IRA, which is what you stated in the question. Right. It cannot come from a 403B or a 401k or other tax-deferred account specifically from your IRA. The great news is if you've been blessed and successful in investing in that account, you can actually give away, if you choose to, up to $100,000 a year, lowering the value of your IRA, lowering future RMDs, requirement of distributions, lowering your tax liability, and blessing a wonderful cause.
That is a very sweet, tax-efficient way to send your love. I love it. All right,
we got time for one more. One more.
Number 4. I think we can all agree that the song Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie is the most romantic song of all time. Or maybe that's just me. Well, one way that you can show your endless love to charities is to leave a bequest in your will or trust, or name the charitable organization as a beneficiary on your accounts. What percentage of all charitable donations in the United States come from bequests? Is it A, 20%, B, 10%, C, 4%, or D, 16%?
I don't know this answer, but I'm going to take a guess of 4%.
I believe we have stumped David Brooks.
Got me. Dang it.
It is 10%.
All right. I didn't think it was 16 or 20, but
it really surprised me as well.
Simple, too round of a number for it to be accurate. I think you fudged it. Was it 9.75?
Yeah, no, we rounded, right? And that actually really surprised me as well. And
now, I also want to point out, when you bring up the song Endless Love, the memory just comes flushing back of Happy Gilmore. that's
Friends what can listen to Endless Love in the dark. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but leaving bequest is can be maybe one of the 5 love languages in a way. And if you want to leave a legacy, I have a lot of clients that have children or grandchildren, and they're not divisible by the 100% when you leave that. So there's always this remaining 1% or 2% that they don't know what to do with.
It's a great strategy. Like if you had three beneficiaries and you want to give 33, leave 1% of your estate to a charity, and that makes it, you don't have to make an odd number. And because some places you leave money will not take fractional beneficiaries, you can't do 33.3. You almost all these custodians where you may have your investments held are going to want round numbers.
Round percentages,
you bring up a great point of a way to do that is just use a charity is to round it off. And a lot of folks, your church would love to talk to you about this. In fact, they may even pay for some legal paperwork to be drafted if you make it irrevocable, the gift that's going to get to them at some point. Right. All right, hey, listen, we are out of time. This was fun, and you got me. So you got me this week. All right. So tell everybody again, when is the class so they can learn this and so much more?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, it's called Strategic Charitable Giving, and it's going to be February 12th, 6:30 p.m. right in the Midwest Learning Center.
All right. Give us a call at 402-369-7777 or go to the website and get registered.
Thank you for listening to the Retire Smart podcast with David Brooks. If you want to learn how to generate lifetime income, reduce your tax bill, and maintain your lifestyle in retirement, visit retiresmartpodcast.com. And make sure to subscribe to keep up with new episodes every week.